How much do you remember of your wedding day? Do you remember what food they served? Or how the wedding cake looked? If you struggle to answer this, it means your memory could be declining. You used to remember phone numbers, juggle conversations easily, and recall every birthday and anniversary without a second thought. But now, things feel weird. Something's wrong, but you can't put your finger on it. You walk into the kitchen and forget while you're there. You forget people's names seconds after they've been introduced to you. You open apps or browser tabs only to forget what you wanted to look for. This is not just mildly annoying. It's starting to become scary. Because deep down, it worries you. What if this is just the beginning? What if one day soon you wake up surrounded by strangers you don't recognize as your sons and daughters? What's even more concerning is that every doctor will send you home and tell you it's just a normal part of getting old. But a breakthrough study from the Mayo Clinic changes everything we thought we knew about memory loss. It turns out these are definitely not signs of aging, and they're definitely not normal. These top researchers have discovered that the real culprit behind memory loss, brain fog, and cognitive decline isn't genetics or age, as we've been told, but dangerous crystal spikes that are coating and invading your neurons like ice, causing them to break under their weight. I know this might sound hopeless, but there's good news too. The same researchers also found a 100% natural way to melt these crystal spikes without even touching toxic pharmaceuticals like Exelon, Aricept, or Namenda. It's an unusual but super delicious egg toast recipe that once used will immediately start melting the crystals, flushing them out and restoring your long lost memories while sharpening your memory and focus. Can you imagine being able to join and hold conversations without losing your train of thought? Or remembering every detail of your favorite stories and sharing them with friends and family? By clearing these crystal spikes, not only will you be able to do that, but you'll actually outperform everyone your age. You'll wake up every morning with a clear mind, knowing you'll keep your independence and enjoy every moment of life. The best thing? This will also protect your brain from future damage. You'll continue to be the strong, dependable presence your family has always looked up to. Your kids and grandkids will come to you for advice, wisdom, and support, not the other way around. You'll never have to face the terrifying thought of losing your home, your routine, and your dignity by having to go to a nursing home. You'll stay exactly where you belong on your own terms. And you'll never worry about needing someone else to manage your schedule, remind you of appointments, or keep track of your medications. You'll get all of that and more just by watching this video in the next few minutes. I'll show you exactly what these crystal spikes are, where they come from, and how they ended up inside your brain. The reason they're so dangerous is that they're found in this very common carb that the food industry sneakily blends into pretty much everything we eat. In other words, your breakfast this morning was most likely a ground zero for these crystals that are linked to almost all memory problems. From simple forgetfulness, like not remembering where you left your keys, to serious issues like failing to recall the names and faces of your loved ones. Since this carb is sneakily blended into every food item we consume, 334 million Americans are being exposed to it every day. That's why so many families are left helpless, watching as their loved ones fade away. As bad as that sounds, the important thing I need to share is that right now, as you're watching this, thousands of red-blooded Americans are clearing their brains of crystal spikes with this odd but super delicious egg toast recipe.
I was having problems recalling words as I was speaking or writing. I could tell it was getting worse over the last 3 to 4 years. My wife recommended I try this method, but I sort of avoided it for a couple of months. I mean, after all, if the pills didn't work, why would this? Well, let me tell you, I was amazed to see after a few short weeks of trying this, my mind became clearer. Ever since, my memory continues to improve. Absolutely incredible.
I started using this because my short-term memory loss was making my life extremely difficult. I admit it was a last resort option because I was so scared by my prescription meds not working. Needless to say, I don't have to worry about that anymore. You've really lifted a mountain off my shoulders.
I was having trouble remembering the names and faces or dates, and I was so scared because I was almost certain I'd end up in a home if I kept making these mistakes. This method solved my problem and worked so well. Maybe a bit too well because I now remember the names of every member from my husband's favorite football team.
Beyond these incredible stories, this weird but tasty egg toast recipe saved my wife, even after she experienced the most terrifying moment in her life when police brought her to our door. Today, I brought my wife to share this story because I don't want you to experience anything remotely close to what we've had to go through. I'll also share the 5 common words you'll pronounce wrongly 2 years before your brain starts shutting down. Words you've likely said wrongly even today. And I'll reveal why memory loss has been deemed type 3 diabetes in a groundbreaking study by the University of Medicine in Berlin. Then I'll show you how this odd but tasty egg toast recipe can permanently clear brain fog, bring back your memory, and help you concentrate better, and how you're supposed to prepare it to boost your brain power by 97%. That's what you'll find in this video. But before we continue, I need to give you fair warning. This isn't a toxin-filled drug endorsed by the big pharma fat cats. They can't patent, register, or make a single red cent off of it. That's why as this video gains more and more viewers, it's threatening to do some serious damage to their pockets. At the same time, it will save you hundreds and even thousands of dollars in useless treatments every month. For years, this has been an open secret, quietly kept under wraps by those in power. But now, thanks to the renewed focus on free speech, this information can finally be shared with the public. So please, I urge you to watch this video before the deep state pharma reps get it taken down. My name is Joshua Carr. I've been a neuroscientist for more than 30 years in a private lab, and I'm proud to say that my team recently developed a machine learning method to predict which medications might help treat anxiety, ADHD, and depression. We're still in testing, but I'm hopeful. When I'm not in the lab, I teach neuroscience and neurobiology at one of Minnesota's top universities, shaping the future through research and education. During this time, I published no less than 140 scientific articles for publications such as Science Direct, PubMed, and ResearchGate. Recently, though, I've completely shifted my focus to the brain's ability to form and store memories. I care about this so much, in fact, that it has become an obsession. Why? Because a few years ago, I witnessed how memory loss and cognitive decline turned the life of my wife, Molly, into a living hell when she should have been enjoying her retirement. But try as I might, I still don't think I'm the right person to paint you this picture. So I've invited my wife to share a bit of her story with you. I'm glad you agreed to share your story, honey. Let's not mince words and get straight to the point. How did you feel in the beginning?
Well, it started small. Just little things. Walking into a room and forgetting why I was there. Mixing up the grandkids' names. We laughed it off though, didn't we?
We did. We told ourselves everyone forgets things sometimes.
And at first that was true. But then I started forgetting more. Not just little things. Things that I was always the one to remember.
Like what, honey?
Well, like which grandkid has the peanut allergy, which doctor to call when one of them gets sick, the exact way you liked your coffee.
You never forgot about those things before?
No, never. I was always the one keeping track of everything. Birthdays, prescriptions, important phone numbers. And then suddenly, I was blanking. Me, the same person who used to have the memory of an elephant.
Pains me to remember how frustrated you got.
Frustrated? I was terrified. It felt like the pieces of my life, the ones that made me, were slipping through my fingers. And there was nothing I could do to stop it.
I should have seen it sooner.
Oh, no, honey. No, it's not your fault. I should have been more open about it. But I just didn't want to accept it. I just kept hoping it was a phase. But then, that night happened.
Gosh.
I still don't know how it happened, honey. I mean, 1 minute I was leaving the store, bags in hand, heading toward the parking lot. And then, nothing. My mind just blanked. I stepped outside and suddenly I had no idea where I was or why I was even there. I didn't recognize the street, the buildings, nothing felt familiar. I started walking, thinking maybe I'd spot my car, but the farther I went, the worse it got.
You walked away from the store?
Well, I didn't know that I was walking away. I just kept moving, trying to find something that looked familiar, but all I saw were streets I didn't recognize. I was so confused. I mean, everything was a haze. I couldn't focus. I couldn't remember my own name. And I started panicking. And then, before I knew it, I wasn't in the shopping district anymore. The buildings looked run down. There were no families, no shoppers. I was getting weird looks from these suspicious-looking men.
You're in a bad part of town.
Well, I didn't mean to be, but I couldn't think. My brain was all fogged up, like I was trapped inside someone else's body, just wandering. And then I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around and he was right there. Dirty hoodie, dead eyes. He didn't say a word. He just yanked my purse really hard. And when I didn't let go of it, he hit me so hard, I hit the ground.
Son of a...
I tried to fight, but I was too weak. My brain wasn't working and my body wasn't working. So I just stood there, frozen. And after he threw me to the ground and snatched my bag, and I started bleeding from my forehead.
Honey.
I started crying right there in the middle of the street. I just stood there crying like a lost little girl because I had no phone, no ID, and no idea how to get home.
I need to tell you the harsh truth. Despite what doctors and big pharma might have told you, your memory problems are not a normal part of aging. I truly wish they'd stop lying to people because these lies ruin innocent people's lives. People like my wife. I remember that night like it was yesterday. The knock on the door, firm, urgent. When I opened it, I saw 2 police officers standing there, and between them was my wife. My heart stopped. Molly stood there, pale as a ghost, shaking like a leaf, her clothes disheveled, her purse missing, and with a big bandage around her head. Her eyes, those warm, bright eyes I had known for decades, were empty, lost. One of the officers spoke gently. Sir, one of the nurses from the hospital recognized her. We found your wife wandering downtown. She'd been mugged and beaten. I barely heard the words. All I could do was look at her. My Molly, my strong, sharp, independent Molly, reduced to this fragile, terrified woman who couldn't even find her way home. When I reached for her, she flinched. It shattered me. I turned to the officers, trying to hold myself together. Thank you, I said, but those 2 words felt so small compared to what they had done. These men had kept her safe. They had gotten her out of a situation that could have been so much worse. God bless them for that. Molly mumbled something, her voice barely above a whisper. I couldn't even understand her. I wanted to break down right there, but I couldn't. I had to be strong for her. I thanked the officers again, shook their hands, and held Molly as tight as I could. That night, as she lay curled up in bed, still trembling, I sat awake staring at the ceiling. What if they hadn't found her? What if that man had done more than just steal her purse? What if next time there was no one there to help her? That was the moment I knew I had to stop this before it was too late. I couldn't lose her like this. I couldn't sit back and just watch her fade away, piece by piece, memory by memory. And the worst thing, I didn't even see this coming. Sure, she did forget things every now and then, but her mind degrading like this in such a short amount of time was simply unexplainable. Still, I had to fight for her independence, her life, because Molly isn't just my wife. She's my whole world. That's when I called all of my colleagues, the best neurologists in the field, and practically begged them to help me figure out how to treat my wife. After running every test possible, the answer was always the same. I'm really sorry, but her mind is declining at an alarming pace. The best I can do is prescribe some meds and recommend some good care homes. I felt so useless. With all the knowledge I had, I couldn't even help the person I loved the most. Even so, we took the meds and hoped for the best. Molly was prescribed stuff like Exelon, Aricept, and Namenda, which I made sure she took every day. Looking back on it, I wish I hadn't forced her to take those pills, because as she will tell you, they did more harm than good. Dear, tell us what we did to help with your memory problems.
Well, you name it, I tried it. Aricept, Exelon, all those damn pills. Every morning I'd swallow a handful of them, hoping, praying that they'd help. And what did I get instead? Nausea, no appetite. Oh, and a brain that felt even more scrambled than before.
You barely ate. You push your food around the plate, take a bite, and just sit there looking miserable. And your memory just kept getting worse.
I could feel it happening, like the meds were fogging up my brain instead of fixing it. I'd forget what I was saying mid-sentence. The frustration was unbearable.
I remember how angry you got.
Wouldn't you? I mean, every day I woke up feeling less and less like myself. And when that frustration got too much, the doctor said, oh, okay, maybe therapy will help.
For a while it did. You slept better, but during the day, things weren't that good.
I was mean, wasn't I?
You weren't yourself.
Sorry. I felt it. The snapping, the irritability. I'd hear the words come out of my mouth and wonder, Who the hell is this person? So then the doctors had another bright idea, antipsychotics. And you know what happened, right?
The heartburn.
Oh, God, the heartburn. I thought my chest was on fire. And that's when you finally had enough.
I tossed them, every last one. But knowing what I know now, it makes a lot of sense that all those pills and therapies didn't work at all. They don't address what's really behind memory issues to begin with. So they ended up making things worse instead of better.
I was at my wit's end. We both were.
I had to return without Molly because what I'm about to tell you still weighs heavily on both of us. You see, we also believe the lie that memory loss is something normal that comes with age. It was a huge mistake. A mistake that would drive her to the lowest point in her life, leaving her helpless on a dark street. The thing that angered me the most, she was the last person to deserve all of that. She had always been so good and kind to everyone, always willing to help and offer advice and support. She didn't deserve this, for Christ's sake. So I ended up taking a sabbatical from my job. I wanted to dedicate every waking moment to finding a cure for my wife. Even with all my knowledge and degrees, it felt like I was looking for a needle in a haystack. I went through all the studies I could get my hands on, and none of them revealed anything new. Plaque in the brain, bad genetics, lifestyle, and environmental factors. But again, we tried everything we could to fix these issues and nothing worked. I felt useless. Like I couldn't do anything to help my wife. I was scared that I'd have to just give up and watch her wither away. But I knew I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I let that happen to her. So I kept pushing myself. I barely even slept at night anymore, and for a couple of months, I lived solely on coffee and energy bars. I signed up for various forums, and I was reading every article and interview I could get my hands on. I was starting to get desperate, but when finding a solution feels impossible, a small side article in an online scientific journal finally gave me the lucky break that made me question everything I thought I knew about the brain. Turns out, little by little, something terrifying is building up inside the brain. When a group of scientists from the Indian Buddha Institute and Hospital took a deeper look into the brain using a high-performance microscope, they saw something disturbing: tiny crystal spikes forming, covering the neurons like ice and slowly building up over time. But as the days, months, and years pass, these structures grow, hardening, crushing the neurons under their weight. So what are these crystal spikes made of? I, for one, was dumbfounded when I found out. These brain-destroying crystal spikes are made of sugar. That's why more and more experts are calling cognitive decline type 3 diabetes. Because the brain is hoarding so much sugar, it's literally being crushed under its weight like a roof covered in ice. I learned about this in a short article written by Dr. Thomas Miller, who explained how excess sugar in the brain doesn't just cause brain fog, but it also clogs up your ability to think, weakens memory, and slowly shuts the brain down. Imagine your neurons as the strong, flexible branches of a tree. They reach out, connecting and passing signals effortlessly, allowing you to think, recall memories, and process information in a split second. But as sugar builds up, it freezes over your neurons like thick, heavy ice. At first, it's just a thin layer. You might feel a little brain fog, mispronounce words, or forget where you put your keys. However, the more sugar that piles on, the worse it gets. This icing thickens, stiffening your neurons, making them sluggish and slow. They can't bend, move, or send signals like they used to. Communication between brain cells starts breaking down. Messages that once fired instantly now take longer or don't arrive at all. Your thoughts feel slower, foggier, like trying to walk through deep snow. And then the worst part, the weight becomes too much. Just like a tree branch snapping under the weight of ice, your neurons begin to crack and break. And when a neuron breaks, it's gone forever. That memory of your wedding day, your grandchild's name, the way home from the store, all crushed under the weight of too much sugar. And this sugar is being sneaked into everything by greedy food companies. You might have some Greek yogurt for breakfast, grilled chicken for lunch, and some fish for dinner. Then go to sleep being proud that you haven't had sugar all day. Or so you think. In reality, you've just consumed countless grams of added sugar that's hidden in everything you eat. Yes, even salty, sour, or bitter foods have added sugar. A bowl of low-fat yogurt? Packed with hidden sugars. That organic granola bar might as well be a candy bar in disguise. Whole wheat bread? It's all loaded with added sweeteners just so they can preserve food for longer and sell it at cheaper prices. Here's the problem. Your brain only needs 6 teaspoons of sugar per day, but the average person eats up to 6 full cups of sugar daily without realizing. That's 48 times more than what your brain actually needs. The worst thing? Your brain doesn't eliminate excess sugar, it hoards it. And here's the scary part. Even if you cut sugar from your diet completely, it wouldn't fix the problem, because by now your brain has already been hoarding sugar for years, letting it build up like layers of ice. And no amount of healthy eating can undo the damage that's already there. As with blood sugar disorders, your body and brain stop converting sugar into the energy they need. No more energy means no more fuel to hold on to and form your memories, which is why memory loss is also called type 3 diabetes. And while the medical community knows about type 2 diabetes, most doctors have no clue type 3 even exists. So how can they manage or treat something they don't even know about? Standard tests don't check for it, because most doctors still believe memory loss is just a normal part of aging. Every moment of forgetfulness, like losing your keys, or forgetting why you just went into the kitchen, is actually your brain getting buried in sugar. So if you're wondering if your forgetfulness is actually type 3 diabetes, let me give you a quick 3-step test. Have you noticed any sudden sugar cravings in the last week? If yes, your brain is already hoarding more and more sugar. And because the brain controls everything, your body has no choice but to comply. Have you found yourself forgetting certain words in conversations over the past few months? You see, the talking centers of your brain are the first ones to go. By this point, your neurons are coated in sugar crystals, making it harder for your brain to receive and release information. Last but not least, try saying this. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. This is a popular tongue twister among children who usually get it right the first time. Did you stutter at least twice while reading this? Well, once can happen to anyone. Stuttering the second time is not a good sign. It means the neuron damage from these crystals may already be significant, just like in the case of my wife. That's why it's crucial to clear these sugar crystals immediately, because once they've hardened and shattered your neurons, they're gone forever. Your past, your identity, everything you've ever loved, it all fades into nothing. But how could you put a stop to that? That was the question that kept nagging me as I watched my wife lose more and more of herself, battling these senior moments. I was lost. I didn't know what to do or where to even start. Then I thought about all of my decades of work and all the top doctors and scientists I had connected with. Surely one of them had to know something useful. The first person who came to mind was Dr. Thomas Miller, one of the researchers who wrote the study that took me down the type 3 diabetes rabbit hole. I made hundreds of calls. I sent even more emails and messages until finally I managed to get his contact information. When I finally got his attention, I got straight to the point. I told him everything about my wife's plight and her battle with memory loss. I told him what I'd learned about the sugar crystal spikes. I explained how we had tried every single medicine on the market with no result. And finally, with a deep sigh, I practically begged him for the smallest idea on how to solve this. For a moment, he went silent. I thought he'd hung up on me. But after what felt like an eternity, he spoke to me. After my team and I published the type 3 diabetes article, I made it my life's mission to solve the sugar buildup problem. During that time, I interviewed a 70-year-old woman who couldn't forget anything about her life. That's right, at her age, she could recall every single detail of her life with astonishing precision, down to the exact clothes she and her late Korean husband wore on their first date. When I heard this from Dr. Thomas, I almost told him I didn't believe any of it. It didn't make sense. If older people are supposed to suffer from memory loss because of all the sugar crystals in their brains, how come this woman in her 70s had better memory than every single teenager on Earth? The answer to that question would later end up saving my wife's memory. Well, this incredible woman had an allergy, so she had never touched processed sugars. All the sugar her brain and body needed came from her garden. At first, I thought that was her secret, simply avoiding sugar. But then it hit me. Her lifelong low sugar intake just prevented the dangerous sugar spikes that cause memory loss. But that still didn't explain something. Her memory wasn't just good, it was exceptional. Far beyond what you'd expect, even for someone without sugar issues. It turns out her secret was something that us Americans might find a bit odd. It's a kimchi egg toast recipe she'd been eating every day since she'd met her husband. After making the egg toast, she would immediately sprinkle kimchi on it. His theory was that this kimchi, or fermented Korean cabbage, had the best brain probiotics possible. You might have heard by now that probiotics are good for the gut, but upon closer look, medical scientists realized that there's a certain type of probiotics that can target the brain. Dr. Thomas then sent me study after study that proved the probiotics' stunning power over our brain and blood sugar levels. A Harvard study confirmed that certain probiotics, like those found in kimchi or other fermented or pickled foods, can boost cognitive function, clear brain fog, and fix memory. Well, that got him thinking. Could the right probiotics have the power to clear brain cells of excess sugar? Before I could suggest putting my wife on a probiotic-rich diet, he told me she'd have to eat pounds of kimchi 3 times a day for years just to see slight improvements. I then asked about probiotic supplements, but Dr. Thomas assured me that most are designed for the gut, not the brain. Worse, many strains don't survive packaging, when stomach acids kills 96% of live probiotics before they can do any good. But there was a better solution to the problem. You see, ever since his meeting with the 70-year-old superager, he'd studied the properties of kimchi in depth and managed to extract the key probiotics and nutrients that actually work to stop and fight memory loss. Then he combined them into an ultra-strong anti-memory loss formula. Now, I'm going to share what those nutrients are and how they work. The first step is to dissolve the sugar crystals from your brain to kickstart the healing process. According to China's School of Medical Sciences, inulin is one of the most powerful brain prebiotics. It helps regulate sugar flow into the brain and melts away the harmful crystals. But it also acts as a supercharged fuel source for the probiotics that will follow in the next stage of the process. Once the crystals are dissolved, your brain can finally function properly again, regaining its normal memory. That means no more standing in the middle of a room wondering why you're there, no more forgetting appointments, and no more awkward pauses in conversations. The research is also there to back this up. In fact, in a 12-week study with people over 60, those who took inulin every day noticed clear improvements in their memory and scored on average 74% better on tests designed to spot early signs of memory loss than those who didn't. In another study done by the University of Reading, UK, people who took inulin daily for 4 weeks. The results? A huge change for better in memory and problem-solving skills. Think of inulin as the first wave of soldiers storming the battlefield. Their mission? Attack and destroy the sugar crystals crushing your neurons. Inulin leads the charge like a battering ram, breaking through the sugar crystals and clearing out the buildup that's been there suffocating your brain cells. But that's only part of its job. At the same time, inulin serves as a nutrient-rich fuel that feeds the brain probiotics, helping your neurons thrive, multiply, and work at peak capacity once the sugar crystals are cleared. Dr. Thomas also added Korean spearmint and dicalcium phosphate. Together, they fight oxidative stress and improve blood flow so that inulin can travel at record speed and melt the sugar crystals more efficiently. For you, that means sharper memory, faster results, and improvements you can actually feel without waiting months. Next, we added another powerful ingredient that, when combined with inulin, Korean spearmint, and dicalcium phosphate in precise amounts, works wonders for your brain, regardless of your age or current health. I'm talking about mentha piperita, a rare Arabic mint that cools the nerves and reignites lost brain connections. Most people don't know it contains rosmarinic acid and lutein, 2 brain-boosting compounds. Lutein targets the stubborn sugar crystals coating your neurons. It melts even the hardest buildup, speeding the brain's repair process and restoring quick and clear communication between brain cells. Rosmarinic acid, on the other hand, lifts brain fog and gives you mental clarity, allowing your thoughts to flow freely. That means no more struggling for words mid-sentence, no more frustrating memory lapses, and no more mental exhaustion by midday. Once the last blow is dealt to the sugar crystals, the battle is only half won. You see, the battlefield is left damaged and in need of repair. That's where the probiotics come in. This specialized team is made of 3.5 billion strains of medics and builders whose job it is to fix the damaged brain cells, reconstruct communication lines, and strengthen your brain's defenses. With their help, your brain doesn't just recover, it comes back stronger, sharper, and more resilient. And here's how they do that. We started with Lactobacillus paracesi, extracted from a special Korean kimchi that has been fermented for exactly 3 weeks and 5 days under strict temperature and light conditions. According to a Taipei Medical University study, this probiotic slows cognitive decline by reducing sugar-related inflammation and clearing oxidative stress in the brain. No more zoning out mid-conversation. You'll be making faster decisions and multitasking with much more ease. It also restores glucose tolerance, so your brain only consumes the sugar it actually needs without storing it, meaning you can enjoy desserts without the risk of sugar crystal spikes. Then comes Lactobacillus reuteri, which patches up weakened neural connections and repairs the communication pathways between your brain cells. It basically sweeps away the leftover mess and fixes the parts of your brain that have been worn down. But don't take my word for it. Studies done by the Institute of Life Science in South Korea and the Karunya Institute of Sciences in India prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt that Lactobacillus reuteri can be 4 times more effective in repairing brain networks than traditional memory loss medicine. What's more, a 12-week study from the University of Gothenburg involving 46 participants found that those who received Lactobacillus reuteri experienced clear improvements in how their bodies process sugar, allowing their brains to turn sugar into clean, steady fuel instead of storing it as damaging buildup. With your brain finally getting the right kind of fuel, your thinking becomes clearer, your memory sharpens, and you avoid those frustrating brain crashes that leave you feeling foggy or slow. Once the repairs are done, it's time to reinforce your brain's defenses. Because what good is fixing something if it just breaks again? This is where the final ingredients step in, arming your brain against future sugar buildup while giving you the mental boost to stay sharp and resilient for years to come. For that, we secured a limited supply of Bliss K12 and Bliss M18, two cutting-edge probiotics developed by scientists at the University of Otago, New Zealand. The moment they enter your bloodstream, they shield your brain from further damage so that you can stay sharp, recall names and details effortlessly, and never have to worry about embarrassing, forgetful moments again. No more struggling to keep up in conversations or feeling like your mind is slipping. Just total confidence in your memory every single day. These strains are so powerful that a Swedish drug company is preparing to acquire them for $6.4 million. And once that happens, they'll be gone. For now, they're still accessible, but not for long. We then added Korean strawberry extract to double the power of the probiotics. These world-famous strawberries provide the perfect natural sugar your brain needs for clean, sustained energy, retraining it to process only what it truly needs. In fact, a study from the Rush Institute of Healthy Aging found that just 2 servings of Korean strawberries extract per week can reduce the risk of memory loss by 34%. That's why we included 5 milligrams of ultra-concentrated extract to maximize the brain-boosting power. We also added Bifidobacterium lactis BLO4, a super probiotic that stabilizes gut health. This plays a critical role in filtering out even the oldest, most stubborn sugar deposits from the brain. And as a bonus, many people report effortless weight loss as their digestion resets. After combining these incredible probiotic strains, rare plants, and essential minerals, we realized one thing: they couldn't be put in a pill. Traditional capsules go straight to the stomach, where gastric acid breaks them down, weakening their effects. That means only a fraction of the formula would actually reach my wife's brain. Not exactly efficient. So instead, Dr. Thomas and his team helped me design a unique mineral probiotic tablet that melted in her mouth, ensuring the nutrients mix with your saliva so the ingredients are absorbed directly through the tissues of your mouth. When it was finally done, I couldn't wait to share them with my dear Molly. And there's no one better to tell you about the experience. Honey, can you tell us about your experience using this highly potent probiotic memory formula?
Of course. You know, when you first gave me those tablets, I didn't even have the strength to argue. I barely spoke back then, let alone made my own decisions.
It broke my heart to see you like that.
I started to take it every morning, and at first, nothing happened. I mean, I took them, but I felt the same. And I remember seeing that look on your face. Remember? You were scared, weren't you?
Terrified. I kept thinking, what if this doesn't work? What if I failed you? But I couldn't give up.
Oh, and thank God you didn't. Because after a few days, I started feeling lighter, like a fog was lifting. I smiled, actually smiled for the first time in what felt like years. Do you remember that?
Of course I do. I almost cried.
I know, I think we both did. And then the words started coming back. At first I was stumbling over them, mispronouncing things, but slowly I was me again. We were talking again, really talking.
And then one day you just got up and went to the store by yourself. I was pacing around, worried sick. And then you walked back in with groceries like it was nothing.
I remember that. You were acting like I had just climbed Mount Everest.
It felt like you did. And when you started cooking again, that's when I knew my Molly was back.
And it wasn't just my mind, though. My body changed, too. The sugar cravings, gone. And when I stepped on the scale and saw that I'd lost a few pounds, you should have seen my face.
I did. That big, beautiful smile of yours. Well, that's when I knew. This wasn't just working. It was a miracle.
I just couldn't stop talking about it. I told everyone, the neighbors, the family, friends at church, and even the post office clerk.
As soon as my wife started sharing this incredible formula with everyone, hundreds of people started reaching out, asking for some samples. Thankfully, I had a bigger batch stored away in case Molly ever needed them again, so I decided to share all of it with friends and family. At first, I didn't hear back from many of them. But after about 2 weeks, my phone and email were flooded with calls, texts, and messages. Men and women in their 40s, 60s, and even 90s wanted to thank me for helping them get rid of their brain fog. People were so grateful because they didn't have to spend hours every morning looking for their missing keys. All of this got me thinking, if it works so well, how come no one had discovered this sooner? Well, the reason is pretty simple, actually. The brain probiotic formula is 100% natural, meaning it's not full of all the chemicals and toxins Big Pharma is trying to pump us all full of. These ingredients can't be trademarked or patented, meaning they can't make a single red cent off a formula such as this. They go out of their way to threaten and silence anyone who would expose their schemes and share these incredible nutrients with the world. After all, if you could turn back the clock on your brain, having it function like it did in your 20s, thanks to natural and affordable ingredients, you wouldn't spend money on meds and therapies that could cost up to $56,000 a year. That means the big pharma reps and private healthcare insurance jackals would lose millions of dollars from their already overspilling pockets. And while all of that happens, millions of red-blooded Americans are forgetting who they are, losing their identities and families. It's unfair on so many levels. I knew I had to do something to make this formula widely available to as many people as possible. So I partnered up with Dr. Thomas and his team. We pulled a lot of strings to source all of these 100% pure and natural brain-supporting ingredients from all over the world. We also made sure they adhere to FDA's strict hygiene and safety standards, and that the formula could be manufactured on American soil so we could supervise the process in detail. After 9 months of research and testing, we finally found a facility that met all of our standards. And now, I'm proud to present to you Synaptigen. This is the first and only solution that addresses the true cause of memory loss, the excess sugar that's crystallized on your neurons. Every single bottle of this brain-supporting formula is made in a GMP-certified facility right here in the United States, and each tablet is 100% pure with no artificial additives, GMOs, or harmful preservatives. Just let one tablet melt in your mouth before you go to bed and let the proven science do its job. This way, you allow the ingredients to be absorbed directly through the tissues in your mouth without having to go through the harsh stomach acids first. This means you get all the ingredients at 100% of their concentration and power for faster results. Once you do that, the 3.5 billion brain probiotics, along with the 5 incredible plant extracts, will start gently melting away the sugar crystals. Within days, the fog lifts. Your thoughts become clearer, conversations flow effortlessly, and words come to you without hesitation. As the days pass, you wake up energized. Your mood improves, and that constant mental fatigue disappears. The sugar buildup that once weighed down your brain melts away, allowing your neurons to fire at full speed. Can you imagine how amazing that would feel? Waking up in the morning feeling refreshed, energized, and crystal clear? As you sip your coffee, you effortlessly recall the things you need to do for the day. No sticky notes, no reminders, no second guessing. You walk into a room and instantly remember why you're there. When your grandkids come over, you're fully present, engaged, playful, alive. You remember their favorite toys, their little quirks, even the silly jokes they told you last time. And at night, as you lay in bed, there's no fear. No worrying about what the future holds. No anxiety about losing yourself. Just a peaceful certainty that your mind is strong, your memories are safe, and you're in control of your life. These hundreds of people are experiencing just that.
I used to joke with my kids that I'd walk into a room and forget why I was there because I had too much on my mind. But deep down inside, I was kind of scared. I mean, my memory wasn't what it used to be, and I started worrying that it was way more than just stress. But after a few weeks of this, I was shocked at how much clearer my mind feels. I'm able to remember little things like what my neighbor told me she did on her vacation last week. I find that I'm way more focused at work, and I even got compliments from my boss about how sharp I've been lately.
I'll admit, I was skeptical when my wife suggested I try this. She said she noticed me forgetting conversations we had, and honestly, I noticed it too. The worst was when I forgot my granddaughter's school recital. I felt so guilty. Within a month of using this, I feel like my brain's been tuned up. I'm remembering dates and names and even random trivia I'd forgotten. My wife says I seem more upbeat too. Honestly, I feel 10 years younger.
For
For years, I felt like I was in a fog. I struggled to finish books because I'd forgotten what I just read. And my kids used to joke about how many sticky notes I had on the fridge. After trying this, it's like somebody turned the lights back on in my brain. I can actually follow through on conversations without zoning out halfway. My kids even said, "Wow, Mom, you actually remembered our movie night this week." It made me laugh. It made me so grateful. I'm so happy I came across your video.
You can be the next to experience these outstanding results. So, if you really care about your independence and clarity of mind and want your brain to be 10 times faster than people your age, then it's safe to assume you've already made up your mind about this brain-supporting probiotic formula, or you wouldn't be here otherwise. And since you're still watching, you're probably wondering how to get your hands on your very own batch of this and how long it is until you see results. Truth be told, I wish I could make it easy for anyone to access this revolutionary remedy, but sadly, it's not that simple. It's made of 100% natural, premium ingredients sourced from all over the world, along with 3.5 billion strains of alive and potent probiotics. This makes it very difficult for the factory to source these active ingredients from our suppliers, which means it takes us 90 days to produce a single new batch of this brain-boosting formula, and we quickly run out of stock. That's why there's only a certain number of bottles available each month, and once these are gone, you'll have to wait another 3 months until we've restocked. However, I have good news too, and I'll share it with you in just a moment. First, let me explain how this formula works and for how long you should take it for the best results. We recommend taking a single soft tablet once a day for at least 30 days. All you have to do is let it melt in your mouth right before bed. But while the brain probiotic formula starts working right away, scientific studies show that the longer you use it, the better your results could be. That's why we suggest adding this brain supporting formula to your routine for at least 3 months. And if you're looking to ensure even better and more lasting results, we recommend using it for at least 6 months. Plus, when you get the 6-month supply, you're protected by future stock shortages as we sell out every month. I must also give you fair warning. This memory supporting formula is only available here on this very website. And since no other product actually targets the root cause of memory loss, the crystal-like formations on your neurons, this is your only real chance to regain the full function of your memory. After hearing about the disturbing root cause of memory loss, Molly's amazing recovery, and the real science behind this formula, I need you to be real right now and answer this question. How much is Synaptigen worth to you? How much would it be worth to you to never experience that sinking feeling of forgetting a loved one's name? How much is it worth to wake up every day with a clear, sharp mind, never second-guessing yourself again? What would you give to relive every cherished memory, never losing a single moment to brain fog? Have you thought about it yet? How much is all that worth to you? Now, I know it's hard to put a price on mental health and well-being, and because this memory-supporting formula delivers exactly that, you can understand why it's so difficult to assign a value to it. Moreover, seeing how challenging it is to get the right ingredients for this formula, my team originally wanted to charge $300 for a single bottle. And when you consider that thousands of people spend even more than $56,000 a year for meds, therapies, and doctor visits that don't even work, and that a 30-day supply of stuff like Aricept costs $660 and comes with nasty side effects like nausea, liver damage, and vomiting, you can see why $300 for this brain probiotic formula is not just fair, but unbelievably cheap. After all, never forgetting what's important to you, being independent well into old age, and enjoying better brain health and bodily autonomy is priceless. Don't worry though, the price won't be anywhere near that. And here's why. We're applying for a gold certification, which requires independent customer results to verify our claims. To qualify, we need at least 5,000 people to test the product and share their experiences. This is the kind of proof that no big corporation can argue with, and it puts the power back in your hands. By joining this movement, you're not only taking control of your mental health, but you're also helping us meet this critical milestone. To thank you, we've lowered the price for early adopters, but only until we hit 5,000. So far, we've got 4,700, and once all those spots are taken, the price goes back up. Today, and until we hit our goal, you won't need to pay $300 for a bottle of this memory-supporting formula, not even $150. Today, you can try this brain-saving probiotic formula for just $79 per bottle, but it gets even better. Because we've proven that the longer you use this, the better your results, and because most people are getting up to 6 bottles at once, we decided to offer an even bigger discount if you stock up. So the more bottles you buy, the cheaper they get. That means besides melting away the neuron-breaking sugar crystals, fixing your memory and clearing brain fog, you'll also be saving money. If you order the 6-month supply, the price drops to just $49 per bottle. That's over 37% off the original price of $79, less than $2 a day. It's less than a Starbucks coffee, and definitely cheaper than paying for a nursing home. On top of that, you'll not only save a ton, but you'll also have a steady supply of this brain probiotic formula on hand. If you're not sure which one to pick, here's why we believe the 6-bottle option, which is enough for 6 months, is your best choice. Reason 1, you get the biggest discount. A single bottle of this memory supporting formula currently costs $79, even with our limited time discount. But with the 6-bottle package, while this promotion is still live and we've got stock available, you'll only pay just $49 per bottle. That's almost $180 in savings. But as I said before, this price won't last forever. And here's the second reason. As I mentioned before, our goal is to get the gold certification for Synaptigen. And for that, we need 5,000 customers to share their unbiased opinions. Right now, we have 4,700 customers. Once we reach 5,000, we'll return to the original price, and you won't be able to get this discount again. So, if you're still on the fence, these 2 reasons might help you choose the 6-bottle package. Just select it below and click the orange button. So go ahead and choose what works best for you below. Now, I've got even more great news for you. I'm including 3 valuable bonus gifts. First, you'll get free shipping when you order the 3 or 6-bottle packages. Second, you'll receive a digital copy of the book, Sharp Mind in 7 Days, a simple guide to becoming super smart. Here's what you'll find in this book, which was a bestseller in its launch year. How to use your nose to clear brain fog almost every night. The sleeping position that's very popular among Mensa members. The 3-minute word combination that helps you respond faster and more intelligently in conversations. This book hasn't been available for 3 years, so the only way to get a copy now is to buy one of its rare editions, which retail for $79.99. But today, when you secure your Brain Probiotics package, you'll get it for free. The third gift is a digital copy of the book, Deep Sleep Blueprint, How to Get the Perfect Sleep in Just 1 Week. You'll find out how easy it is to trick your mind into falling asleep in literally minutes with 3 odd but extremely efficient doctor-approved techniques. You'll learn about the simple adjustment to the position of your bed that will help you sleep like a baby all through the night. And last but not least, you'll discover the 5 heavy sleep pressure points that even long-term insomniacs swear by. Normally, this digital book sells for $69.99, but today it's yours absolutely free when you choose your package below this video. Not a bad deal, right? But no deal is complete without a rock-solid money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. If you're like the thousands of Synaptigen users who have already given us feedback, you and your loved ones will be thrilled by the results. And if you're not amazed by how much clearer your thinking becomes, if you're not ecstatic about how sharp you feel in social situations, if you're not happy on how easy it becomes to remember dates, names, and faces, or even if you just don't like the label, simply call or email our friendly US-based customer service team within 180 days, and you'll get the fast refund of every penny. Plus, you can keep the bonus gifts. That means you get 180 days, half a year, to try this amazing probiotic brain formula for yourself and decide if it's right for you. And believe me, we wouldn't be able to offer this kind of guarantee if we weren't 100% confident that our brain-supporting probiotic formula truly works. So go ahead, choose the 6-bottle package or any package below to get started. And listen, if you've been let down by memory supplements before, I totally understand. But here's the thing, this is in a league of its own. It's formulated with unique compounds you won't find anywhere else, all backed by the latest scientific research from the Mayo Clinic, Osaka University in Japan, and many other renowned institutions. This formula has worked wonders for countless people. I've seen men and women just like you go from forgetting why they walked into a room to recalling childhood memories with crystal clarity. So I know it can improve your life and give you and your loved ones the peace of mind you deserve. However, if you're not completely blown away, and if you're not 100% satisfied with the results, I'll give you a full refund. Just be sure to act now and choose the 6-bottle package or any package below before our supply runs out. Here's what will happen when you click the button below. First, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page. Next, you'll enter your payment information on our secure form, protected by military-grade 256-bit SSL encryption, the same security used by Amazon and Microsoft, so you can feel completely safe when you place your order. As soon as you click the Complete My Order button, our warehouse team will immediately start packing your order. In just a few days, a small, discreet package will arrive at your door. Open it and simply let a soft tablet melt in your mouth before going to sleep. With just that one action, you'll be on your way to dissolving the neuron-breaking crystals, strengthening your neurons, and enjoying crystal clear memory for years to come. Choose the package that's best for you and your family below and get started today. Right now, you have a choice to make. You can close this page and go back to your life as is, back to the forgetfulness, back to walking into a room and blanking on while you're there, back to missing appointments, struggling for words, and feeling that sinking fear when a memory slips through your fingers. Maybe it won't get worse tomorrow, maybe not even next week. But what about next year? What about 5 years from now? Will you still recognize the faces of the people you love? Will they have to remind you of your own stories? Will they have to watch you fade away piece by piece, just like so many others before you? Or you can make the choice to fight back today. You can say yes to a sharp, focused mind that remembers everything that matters. Yes to a future where you stay independent, confident, and in full control of your life. You don't have to live in fear of losing yourself, not anymore. This formula has already helped thousands rewind the clock on their brain health, bringing back memories, restoring clarity, and proving that cognitive decline is not inevitable. But here's the truth. Your brain doesn't have time to wait. Every day that passes, more neurons are lost, more memories fade. But today, right now, you have a chance to stop it. So what will it be? The path of regret or the path of reclaiming your mind, your memories, and your life? It's your choice. But by choosing the latter, you'll arm yourself with a one-of-a-kind, 100% natural solution that contains 3.5 billion strains of alive and potent brain-boosting probiotics, along with strong plant extracts proven time and time again to keep your brain sharp and energized. You'll start to remember names and faces effortlessly and impress your family with your quick wit and sharp memory at holiday gatherings. Most importantly, you'll free yourself from the fear of memory loss. I hope you choose this path, but only you can make that decision. Just remember, you are protected by our money-back guarantee. You risk absolutely nothing by trying this brain probiotic formula today, which in my opinion, makes this an easy decision, especially at this discounted price. That said, I can't guarantee this discount for much longer. Time is running out, and it's time to take action. Click the 6-bottle package or any other option below to securely place your order. Thank you for letting me share this incredible discovery with you today. This is Joshua Carr, signing off. Frequently asked questions. 1. How and why does this brain probiotic formula work? The human brain is programmed to get its fuel from glucose, which comes from sugar. Because there's sugar in everything we eat nowadays, the brain hoards every bit of it without eliminating the excess. Since the brain cannot deal with the sugar surplus, it starts coating the neurons, turning them brittle and eventually breaking them. Scientists from the Mayo Clinic and Duke University even called memory loss type 3 diabetes in their latest research. Our formula harnesses the power of incredible plant and mineral extracts that will start by clearing all the excess sugar from your brain and neurons, building a clean slate for the swarm of probiotics to populate the brain, teaching it to refuse excess sugar and repair any damage done over the years. 2. Are there any side effects? Our formula has been designed for all ages and medical conditions. All of the ingredients in these tablets have been proven to be safe in clinical trials and are constantly tested for purity to ensure against toxins and contaminants. Moreover, our formula is manufactured in an FDA-approved facility under sterile, strict, and precise standards. As always, if you currently have a medical condition or you're taking other prescription medication, we advise you to show a bottle of this to your doctor before you take it, just to put your mind at ease. 3. When and how should I take this formula? We recommend you let one soft tablet melt in your mouth every day, preferably before sleep. You can also treat it as a candy and just suck on it. This still guarantees maximum effects. 4. What if it doesn't work for me? Can you tell me about that guarantee again? The more results we see, the stronger we believe this formula has the power to completely transform your brain. It's true, though, that nothing works for 100% of the people who try it, as each body works its own way. That's why every bottle comes with an ironclad 180-day money-back guarantee. If for any reason you aren't fully satisfied with the results, you can just return what you haven't used for a full refund. Simply write to us, send back your bottles, even the empty ones, along with the packing slip, and we will send you every single cent back. 5. How can I get started? It's very easy. Just click the Buy Now button now to go to our secure order checkout page. Enter your information, and we'll immediately get to work shipping this brain-supporting formula right to your doorstep. But remember, every day you wait is another day your brain struggles under the weight of excess sugar. By choosing the 6-bottle option, you're making the smartest decision for your future. You get months of uninterrupted brain support with no gaps or delays. The best savings available, giving you the lowest price per bottle. Total peace of mind knowing you've locked in your supply before we sell out. The truth is, once people experience the clarity, memory recall, and confidence this formula brings, they never want to go back. So why wait? Click below now, choose the 6-bottle package, and take control of your brain health today.